Good afternoon. So I have an allegorical story today. And it has to do, I'll use the word explosive device. By the way, this is a real antique. This, not the chain, but the stone belonged to my grandmother, Tessie. And it's not valuable. I think it's like a blue piece of glass with rhinestones in like steel, like not even sterling silver, because my grandfather got it for her. I think like during the war, there wasn't much around. So anyway, yeah, because they came from Europe, like Nazi occupied Europe. Anyway, that's an aside. The allegorical story is about an explosive device, and this is a true story, but I'm applying it to real life situations. So anyway, let's just say that I'm approximately an hour from the Tarrytown Music Hall, for your doxers out there, and also from the Capitol Theater and Bethel Woods. Okay, so anyway, quite a few years ago, my ex-husband and I went to Tarrytown Music Hall, as we did several times a year, because they had some really, like headliner, like famous people playing there, believe it or not, even though it's a small venue. And great shows, and great small, the inside of it is just gorgeous. But anyway, I forgot who we were going to see. They had tribute bands. I know, I've seen the one that does Paula Cole. I saw a few times. Huey Lewis. I've seen famous people. Asia. I've seen Ricky Lee Jones. So many people. I can't even list them all. But anyway, and I've also been to the Paramount in Peekskill. But anyway, I'm going off on a tangent. So we went to the Tarrytown Music Hall, which is in Tarrytown, right on the border where Sleepy Hollow, like the legend of Sleepy Hollow. And it is a very affluent, upscale neighborhood, okay? And so at the time that we went to this venue was after there had been explosive devices, years after 9/11. But in other words, different things were getting detonated around the world and in the U.S. and in the city. And they had signs everywhere and public service notifications, like on TV and everywhere, saying if you saw a suspicious package or anything suspicious, like someone leaves a bag or a suitcase or a box or anything suspicious, immediately report it. Be on the lookout for suspicious activity. And I took that real serious because actually on 9/11, my mother was right across the street. Thank God she survived it. And my ex-husband was working in Manhattan out of Grand Central when it was happening. So, yeah. So I take these things very seriously, And I grew up riding the New York City subway, so my eyes and ears are open. I am a native New Yorker, and I'm so proud of that. Anyway, as you should be proud of wherever you came from, okay? So anyway, we go to Tarrytown Music Hall to this concert, right? And, this is sort of like, they're having all these things, the last few years about packages and explosive devices and unusual activity. And everyone's excited about the show. You get there early. They sell beer and they sell, I think, some snacks. I don't know if they sold any other alcoholic beverages, but, they would sell souvenir T-shirts in the lobby, CDs, you name it. So, concert paraphernalia. So people would get there early and they'd be milling around and people would go with friends or their husband or another couple or their boyfriend, or some people would even bring their older kids or their younger kids. And people would be milling around for at least an hour before the show started. And so my ex-husband and I, we got settled in. I think we went to the bathroom and got settled in. And, we would like to sit and observe. We would like to observe what was going on. Look at that person. Do we see anyone we know? Whatever, blah, blah, blah. I noticed a man who was there by himself with a large backpack on his back, and he had a very odd look on his face, like he had some kind of mental illness, with like this kind of kooky grin, and he kept pacing up and down the side aisle all the way to the right of the theater. And he kept going back and forth, and no one noticed him. No one looked at him. I was the only one that noticed him or was looking at him. And I told my ex-husband, I said, look at that guy over there. He's a weirdo. Why does he have a big backpack on his back? Oh my God, blah, blah, blah. Now, my ex-husband kind of agreed with me. He said, yeah, well, and I said, no. We're not going to just sit here and then get blown to bits, and then our kids have no parents. I immediately got up and I went to an usher and I told them, and they were too busy talking to another usher. And I said, excuse me, this is urgent. I said, you need to get security, because they did have security there. You need to get them right away. I said, do I need to scream out that there's a bomb in here? And I don't know if I'm allowed to say that word. And they took me seriously. I said, look at him, watch him. He's not right in the head. And he's got a huge backpack strapped to his back. He's pacing up and down like a lunatic, and no one's even noticing him or paying attention. So, with that being said, I told my ex-husband, let's wait out in the lobby close to the front door until we know it's safe. And I insisted on that. I did. Okay? And it turned out that someone went over to him. They questioned him. They asked, because they had the right to look inside your bag. They looked inside of his backpack. It turned out he traveled by train, and he was like a mentally disabled person at great length to come see the show. And he had like a change of clothing and like a granola bar and some like water bottles in his backpack. But the thing is nobody else was observing or noticing. Okay, and he was doing something that was not, normal. The allegory about it is, recently I was in a situation, and a dear friend of mine was with me, and we observed, I think more so him than me, we observed, some inappropriate behavior, and we called it out. And we were like dismissed. We were dismissed by a bunch of lies and BS, right? And, we talked privately afterwards about what we believed, what was going on, and blah, blah, blah. And that, we were just going to stay away from that situation. And sure enough, the next day, some weird little things started happening. And I attribute it to the fact that now we called somebody out on what they were doing. And the person was dumb enough or drunk enough to admit that they had done something inappropriate and I believe illegal. And no one else was outraged. No one. No one but us. and, when you start to accept, when you're around people, places, or things that are toxic, where like lying becomes the norm, bad behavior, rudeness becomes the norm, and you accept that as the norm, that's sick. That's sick, and I'm not around that. And if you're someone that, after seeing and hearing that, you embrace that for whatever reasons, because you want to be popular on social media or make money off of social media, that's on you. But I wouldn't feel any sympathy for anyone after they were warned that goes crying when they get the consequences of who they associate with, because you are judged by who you associate with. You are. You are. And only, I think, an intelligent person is going to discern that. So I just called a whole group of people stupid. Yes, I called you stupid. And a couple of specific individuals, you're stupid if you don't see it. Or maybe you see it and you just don't care because it's a means to an end. But you know what? Nothing good ever came out of hanging out with a nutcase that has a backpack with an explosive device in it. Anyway, everyone, have the day that you deserve. Bye.